At the cusp of 1972, Aussie super rockers the Masters Apprentices released what would turn out to be the swan song of their classic run, a toast to Panama Red, and from it, the epic two-parter, Games We Play. Okay, some really searing, smoking leads over this kind of rolling bass line. Yeah, thick, smoky vibe. A minor. Oh, I love the way he goes scaly 1 second and then kind of holds a sustain kind of note the next. Okay, you were hearing the interplay there of guitarist Doug Ford and bassist Glenn Wheatley. Okay, now we go into a very different section with the first tight theme emerging. Okay, it sounds like we got two acoustic guitars interacting there. Dun, 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 dun. One of the first earworms of the track. Arguments are games we play in between the fun. Okay, and those are the vocals right there of James Keays. Keays. Like a tiny drop of rain in between the sun. And it looks like a relative of his is responsible for the visuals on the album. Yes, the cover with like a dog who's... It's quite a cover. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess the cover's kind of... It's... I guess I can see the controversy now that I look up above. I've always just seen it as kind of this artistic visual, but more on that later. Love did not pass us by in its strange disguise, like a blind man in the night, searching for his sign. Okay, let's catch up with the lyrics here. Arguments are games we play in between the fun, like a dirty driving rain, in between the sun. Love did not pass us by in its strange disguise, like a blind man in the night, searching for his sign. Okay, I'd have to think about this a bit more. Oh, I love the way those harmonic notes sound. You hear that? No, no. Yeah, throwing those kind of like light touch pull off notes, those kind of that glowy tone. Oh, I just love this band's overall sound, like that really smoky, thick, like electric lead, kind of just warm fuzz they got going, and those kind of like smoldering bass lines, kind of somewhat like Chicken Shack production wise around this time, like Imagination Lady. I'm getting that vibe. Of course, this complements like some of what was going on in the Aussie scene at the time. Well, like the Carson scene, except a bit more. Let's just say melodramatic and epic. Okay, and the drumming we are hearing, let's see, is by Colin Burgess. Discogs, the drummer at one point was an AC/DC, although I don't see any actual album credits under that nameplate. Oh, here's a fun one. The bassist. Let's see, beyond Masters Apprentices, well, in a producer's capacity anyway, he was involved in the remix of Send Me an Angel by Real Life. Yeah, about 11 years after this album we're listening to here.
You may be lost and pray, you won't see the end. The soul that Jesus saves today is not too late to mend.
Interestingly, this vocalist, James Keays, he put out a solo album in 1974, The Boy from the Stairs, and then a few solo albums in the 80s, yet under the name Jim Keays, and certain entries on Discogs seem to think they're two different people. He's actually from Scotland. Yeah, one of many vocalists. It seems there seems to be a big what is it? There seems to be more Scottish-born musicians that end up in Australia than English-born. I'm thinking of John Paul Young as another example. Yeah, or Glenn Sharrock. Yeah. I think anyway. Yeah.
We have to lose our way.
Heck, some of the guys in the Easy Beats, at least.
To know where we've been. Don't do all they told you to.
Okay, so far this track, it seems to be just going between that really bluesy section, that really heavy, kind of rupturous, with the guitar and all that, and then this really plaintive section, which is acoustic guitar and voice, and a more definite melody, melodic like vocal hook and such. Let's catch up with the lyrics here. You may be lost and pray, you must see the end. The soul that Jesus saves today is not too late to mend. We have to lose our way to know where we've been. Don't do all they told you to. Love was never seen. This seems to be about the spiritual quest, about finding the true meaning of life amid all the mundanities that and just mistakes and conflicts that people cope with in life.
Love was never seen.
Hear him like make it cry, those really high kind of bendy notes, and a few more of those harmonics a moment ago. this sound so thick? I mean, because we've got that lead guitar just up there crying, and then we've got the bass doom 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 doom. But there's something else. There's something that's just there's like a lot of like reverb and. Like the echo of the drums or something. Just like three instruments, like they basically sound like a power trio with a really thick sound here. James Keays is also credited with effects. Yeah, I'm wondering if he was doing something there to make it thicker that I wasn't able to really point out. God, it sounds like they're getting ready for a sacrifice or something. Something kind of tribalistic about this. Ritualistic. Okay, that is the Crikey choir. Yeah, comprised of, oh, it doesn't really say. Although they do have another credit from later in the decade, funny enough. That key change amid this choral element. Da. Yeah, that's a good. There's a key center we haven't heard yet. E, da, da, F. Yeah, that F gives a real plungy quality because na, D, E, F sharp. Dun, 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 yeah. Okay, now we're hearing like a variation of the acoustic section. Okay, yeah, and here that now acoustic and electric guitar are colliding. Yeah, the elements, we're in part 2 now. Yeah, of games we play. Yeah, they've taken the two main sections that we were hearing back and forth during part 1 and like integrating them now. God, that smoldering sound, it's almost like an eruption of sorts. Like an ongoing like lava flow. Yeah, like smoky molten lava flow. That's the overall feel of this epic. the same cadence as that acoustic section from part one, just heavier with more of the arrangement of the bluesy section, and you hear that acoustic plucking underneath it yet. And now we have that really crying high electric tone as well, like layering on. Yeah, we're getting the works here.
And he raised his head and looked upon the people, and with great voice said, "When love beckons, follow."
Soliloquy, yeah, kind of poem reading here. Let's see, where is this going? And he raised his head, looked down upon the people, his great voice said, "When love beckons, follow." And by he...
For the path sometimes seems steep and hard. Yield and let the soft wings enfold you. For the sword, hidden among the pinions, may cut deep. When the voice speaks to you, believe. For the voice may shatter your dreams as the north...
Let's see. Though the path sometimes seems steep and hard, behold and let the soft wings enfold you. Through the sword hidden among the pinion may cut deep. When the voice speaks to you, believe. For the voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste to the garden. This must be like a higher spirit we're dealing with here.
Wind lays waste the garden. For as love is your growth, so it is your pruning. As it ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so it shall descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge...
I love how it's just basically moving around within the framework of E minor. Na, na. Yeah. Like 1 5 da, na, na. And throwing in like a few half steps like
fragment of life's heart. Go into the seasonless world where you shall laugh not all your laughter and weep not all your tears. For love gives naught but itself and takes naught but from itself.
This whole section only makes one key change. It goes up to D minor, and then it goes through like 2 figures of 8, I think, in A minor, and yet it seems to move around a lot nonetheless, despite not really changing keys.
Not you can direct the course of love, for if it finds you worthy, will direct your course. Love has no desire but to fulfill itself, to melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody for eternity.
Yeah, talk about creating like a really strong theme out of just like one chord. Just by going around and emphasizing different notes within the scale of that chord, A minor, like, going around to like emphasizing, and on different octaves too. You have that one really high instrument, you have the bass, you have the acoustic, each, bringing out different nuances of that chord and creating like a theme that really works through this whole repetition. It's like each time you play it, just make it a little bit heavier, a little bit more intense, a little bit more booming and... And it's a really effective backdrop too for that poem reading we just heard. And for this like choral, element too. Oh, that rising volume and everything, yeah, getting thicker, swelling up. The drums getting more kind of layered and booming and like mist laden. I can't really pick out who is really dominating here. I guess this is one of those tracks that's just better than the sum of its parts. I almost want to say the drummer. I almost want to say the guitarist, but and then the choral, the choir just adding a whole nother dimension. You know this and. That high choral note. You know what was really amazing to me is that they were able to come up with such a thick, epic sound without any keyboards. There was no organ, there was no synthesizer, there was no piano. It was basically just a power trio lineup and some vocals occasionally, and then ultimately like a choir coming on. And yeah, it just sounded so thick, so smoky, so steamy, so large. Yeah, that was Masters Apprentices with Games We Play Part 1 and 2 from their December 1971 release, A Toast to Panama Red. And it is just, and I am just learning within the last half hour or so that this is technically a 1971 release. Yeah, so I may have actually... Had I known that a little bit earlier, I may have saved this for, like, say, a 1971 marathon. Like, I don't know when that comes up. But anyway, I'm doing it right now. I actually picked this track out a few days ago and didn't get around to doing it over the weekend. But anyway, yeah, it came out in the UK on Regal Zonophone in December 1971. And certain issues, though, bear a 1972 release date. And that's why I guess several of these sites had traditionally listed this as a 1972 release. And the cover, just studying it a bit closer now, yeah, it's a dog with an eye patch, with a Union Jack eye patch, tongue sticking out, and who's been arrowed through the ears, and his head is kind of like either in a brace or it's been trophy. There's a lot going on, and he's got these kind of like wood, this like dragon spine. It's surreal, and when looked at in a certain way, it could be sort of gruesome. But I don't know. It's pretty complex. It's got a lot of patterning. It's got the checkerboard tile behind him is quite, and the vanishing point, the little mouse hole in the wall. I like it, despite the slight bit of gruesomeness. It's pretty minor overall. Yeah, it's one of those loaded, colorful, quirky covers of the time period that uses up the full cover. No frame around it or anything. That's the way I like it. And a surreal photo of the by now very hirsute 4-piece band. Yeah, with kind of a photo photo negative effect on the members. Yeah, the Masters Apprentices, one of the founding bands of Aussie rock, one of the leading beat garage R&B combos of the 1960s Aussie scene, turned, embracing more the heavy maximalist rock era here, at least initially, and then breaking up soon after this album was completed, only to like reunite for like in the late 80s briefly. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the Masters Apprentices, yeah, an Aussie rock institution, and definitely a band to explore if you're especially if you're new to classic rock from down under. Yes. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of the Masters Apprentices, see the directory of albums by Australian artists linked in the description below for Red Hot Tracks and Purples from this album and several of the ones before it, and other bands of the time period, as well as over like the 70s and 80s over the subsequent 15 to 20 year period. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the big two-part epic we just heard. The instrumentation, the smoldering, thick, epic quality to it all, the layers, the interplay, the soloing, yeah. Who had the best moment on there? What was the most compelling passage? We heard several, quite a consistent piece thematically, a few pieces that ultimately kind of wove, a couple of distinct movements that ultimately wove together, and yeah, they really maximized, create a great economy of means, like two, maybe three ideas at most, just played out over 11 minutes, yeah, to an epic conclusion. And your observations about the lyrics too, if you have any, that anything you want to point out that I may have missed. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most air travel Tremex, signing off.